Okay, we have the dragon squat. Awesome movement for single leg stability, strength, range of motion, and it looks badass. The first drill, the dragon tail lift. Laying on the forearm, trying to lift the leg with the toes pointing laterally, in this case towards the camera. You can then post up onto the long arm to make this drill even harder with the torso pointing vertically. Aim to lift the foot as high as you possibly can. We then take this one step further with the dragon tail squat. The goal here is to lift the hip and the foot sequentially and then eventually at the same time off the floor, whoop, and landing back into the squat with care. This is a really lovely conditioning exercise, gaining both outer hip mobility, so the outer hip of the bending leg, and also the inner hip of the straight leg. We then have the beginnings of the dragon with the baby dragon, sometimes called the rotational shrimp squat. Lightly kissing the knee, not behind the standing leg, but around to the side of the standing leg. To begin with here, you can keep the range of motion quite small, keeping the torso and the shoulders up. Looking from the other side, coiling around, lightly touching the knee, and returning to standing. This is a really good drill to help you with the coiling action, the equilibrium of the dragon. To improve the range of motion, we then want to not only bring the knee around to the side, but also as far forward as possible, so it's in line with the pinky toe. We then combine this with bringing the elbow as close to the floor as possible, and eventually being able to kiss the knee and the elbow down to the floor in the same moment. As you'll see, we go through a much larger range of motion here, and the baby dragon really starts to grow as we move towards the full movement. We then have the assisted dragon. This is a lovely one because we start to elongate the dragon tail. We'll do the baby dragon and then place the hand down, try to elongate the tail, and then return to standing. Your goal here to begin with is to use the hand in any way possible in order to fulfill the patterning. And step by step, I'd like for you to use the hand less and less and less until you can begin to make attempts for the full dragon. Now obviously the full dragon can be quite stressful to begin with, so one way to progress this is from a raised surface. You can place the standing leg on a yoga block, on a piece of wood, or like I'm doing, off the side of the decking. This really helps the tail come around and elongate. The key here is not to get lazy. Try to keep the foot as high as you possibly can. Get used to the equilibrium, the coiling around the center, and also this lifting of the tail until you have the final beautiful end product, a nice deep dragon squat. Fantastic.